Hey guys, it's Mike Man WBA here, back again with another Draft League video. This time, the West Bromwich Altaris are up against Coach Ethan of the Shocking Shaymins in what would have been an actual live com, but I recorded the whole thing and got to the end, and then OBS crashed right as I was talking about next week's opponent, but we'll get into that later. We're back here for a post-com. I'll try and go through everything as I remember it, but it is the next day now, so I might forget a couple of things. Hopefully I will remember as much as possible. So we're going to jump straight in, and we led off with our Primate, and I'll talk through the sets of some of our mons as we go through. So this Primate was Choice Scarf Defiant in case he brought Intimidate Mawile and we could catch the switch. Defiant, Choice Scarf Primate with Close Combat, Earthquake, U-Turn, and I want to say Ice Punch. So we led off with the Primate because I thought no matter what he brings in, we can U-turn, and if he started off with the Mawile expecting like something, actually I don't know why he wouldn't have led Mawile, but basically I led off with the Primate so we could U-turn out. He actually starts off with his Hooper Unbound, which is lovely because I thought if this actually is his Hooper Unbound, then we will probably kill it. If it was his Zoroark in disguise, it would still do a lot. If he switched out, it would do a fair bit of damage and we would get the momentum. So I went for the U-turn. He stays in. As you see, it is a Focus Sash, and I go into the Rotom thinking, oh god, what's he going to do here? And he goes for the Trick Room. Now, I went into the Rotom because I thought it did the least amount on the team. It was here for defog and he didn't bring any rockers or anything, so it was choice specs in case I needed to hit something, in case like I thought he was going to bring in a Mawile on it, or although mind you Rotom does get Will-O-Wisp, so he might not have done that, but basically if he brought something in that I needed to hit, I could hit it instead of going for a defog. But yeah, Specs, Defog, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, and Shadow Ball. He obviously goes to the Trick Room. I completely forgot that Trick Room existed. I didn't expect Trick Room at all. So I have no choice here really but to stay in with Rotom. He goes for the Hyperspace Fury, and he requires our choice specs. Now here I wasn't sure if he was locked in now to the Hyperspace Fury with choice specs. I go into Mamoswine here, and now you might be thinking at home, because you're probably all smart people, oh, he's gone into the Mamoswine so he could Ice Shard. Except I forgot that Ice Shard was a move as well. So this Mamoswine actually has Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Icicle Crash, and Substitute. And I've just done a bit of calcs, and I've figured out that Mamoswine takes the least from this Hooper Unbound. So I've decided to switch it in, take a hit, and kill it with an Earthquake. So Earthquake is what I go for, and he switches into Mawile, expecting the Ice Shard, and we pick up a nice, very nice KO on the Mawile on the switch. That's his Mega Mawile, I'd like to point out. And for some reason, he wasn't Intimidate Mawile. I don't know if there's only certain sets get Intimidate, like if you have to have certain moves. But his Mawile wasn't Intimidate, so we don't get the attack drop, and we get the kill on the Mega Mawile. He later told me that he was just so locked into thinking Ice Shard that he just clicked immediately and didn't think about anything else. And that he didn't know why he kept a 1 HP Hooper Unbound with choice specs. But we had a couple of misplays in here, that being one of them, me doing a couple of things as well. Here I think this Milotic is probably really bulky, and it's probably going to go for a Scold. And I thought, as long as I don't get burnt, now could be a good time to go for a substitute. Except he's not defensive, he is offensive. He's offensive Hydro Pump, and yeah, unfortunately he gets a crit. I'm not sure if the crit was important. I think it was probably a roll, if not, because we did have a lot of HP. But he unfortunately gets the crit on the Hydro Pump and knocks out our Mamoswine. So here I go into our Papilolo, the Tapu Lele. I am thinking I could go for. I have Thunderbolt on this. I have it's this. Start again. By the way, this is an Assault Vest Tapu Lele with Moonblast, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and Hidden Power Fire, because I can't remember what he has, but he has something that wouldn't have liked a Hidden Power Fire. I think it was Hidden Power Fire. I had a Hidden Power on it. But yeah, I thought I could go for the Thunderbolt, but he has that Diggersby. I didn't want him switching it in for free, so I go for the Moonblast. He switches in his Hooper Unbound, and that dies. So that is good. He now goes into Diggersby, and I know that he is going to knock out my Tapu Lele. I forgot that Diggersbys usually go Agility and Life Orb. I was thinking it was going to be Choice Banded. It was not. It was Agility. So I switch in Primeape. He gets a free KO on this, and I thought I was in trouble here, because obviously Life Orb Diggersby hurts a lot. But luckily, Manaphy is a tanky little trucker. So he goes for the return. I live on 16%, and I knock it out with the Surf. Now, this Manaphy set it is Walterium Z, but it's not Rain Dance, because I didn't think Rain Dance would help that much, and it definitely wouldn't have helped considering he was Trick Room. So it's just Tail Glow, Surf, Ice Beam, and Energy Ball. He had quite a few flying mons, and he had Aerodactyl and Minior, so I thought Ice Beam would be best. Now he goes into the Zoroark, and I was confused here, because if you look here, you'll see that Minior is in the last slot, but apparently he put his Diggersby in the last slot, so Zoroark would have come out as Diggersby, but obviously his Diggersby is dead, so it just came out as the Zoroark. But he really could have hurt me by going into the Zoroark as the Diggersby, because I wouldn't have had a clue, because I would have expected it to be Minior coming in as the Zoroark. So he goes into the Zoroark here. He KOs our Manaphy with a Dark Pulse. We go into Tapu Lele because this does sweet nothing, and we hit him with the Moonblast and knock out the Zoroark. And I think here he was really confused as to what our set was, because we were max HP, max special attack, modest with Assault Vest, and he was expecting us to be timid, to speed creep, Hooper Unbound, and I think as well just didn't expect Assault Vest with max HP and max special attack. So he'd count it here so that his Minior was guaranteed to live on 1 HP, which would have been a massive problem. Luckily, as long as he wasn't timid, or jolly, sorry, as long as he wasn't jolly, we were going to outspeed him. And he wasn't, as we go for the Thunderbolt and actually get the KO, which I wasn't expecting. But he was quite a weird set, and he had like 0 HP, 0 special defense negative, but then he also only had 96 attack EVs. So I'm not sure. I guess he split them between his 2 attacks because he probably had like Power Gem and Acrobatics. And Acrobatics at +2 would have killed Tapu Lele, so we got very lucky there. And now he is left with the Milotic versus Tapu Lele and our Charizard, and we just go for the Thunderbolts, which do a lot more than his Hydro Pumps because we are Assault Vest. and we very luckily pick up the 2-0 win. Tapu Lele definitely putting in the work in this battle. I think it got 4 kills in the end. Yeah, it killed Zoroark, Minior, Milotic and Hooper and Bound. Manaphy picked up the kill on Diggersby, and Mamoswine picking up the kill on Mawile. And I have to say, I've got to give a big thanks to Specs. Obviously, we battled him in week 1, a very good battler. On the suggestion of him, at the very, very last minute, I put Tapu Lele in as Assault Vest. Originally, I had Galvantula, and I think if we had, we'd have been in a lot of trouble. It wasn't going to be Sticky Webs Galvantula, though. It was going to be an Assault Vest Galvantula for the Hooper and Bound, which then ended up being physical. But I think, really, Galvantula probably would have got the same kills as Tapu Lele. I would like to think so anyway. I'm pretty sure a Thunder would knock out a Minior. But we got fairly lucky at points. So we got very lucky with the KO on the Minior, because that was a roll. I think we got very lucky that we managed to sort of stall out his Trick Room, especially wasting a turn as we knocked out the Mawile was especially useful, because I had really nothing at all to deal with Trick Room. It completely passed my mind. And also Charizard, after sweeping last week and getting, well, not last week, sorry, it was 2 weeks ago. After sweeping 2 weeks ago and getting all 6 kills, Charizard not even getting on the field this time. And I should mention about last week, there was no ODL battle last week. That was because our opponent Jesus gave us the forfeit win. We just couldn't figure out a time to battle. The one time that we were able to, I was just ill and I was in bed at 4 PM. So thank you, Jesus, for being gracious enough to hand me the forfeit win. But it was going to be a struggle to sort that out. So I'm just going to quickly look at the document, because I believe next week we have another tough battle. As it loads up. So if we look at the schedule, week 5, yeah, we have JR. JR being the coach of the Colorado Raikus, and he has a scary team. He has Deoxys Speed, Victini, Rotom Wash, Donphan, Primarina, Miltank, Charizard, Absol, Mega, Cobalion, Crobat, Druddigon, and it says here Alolan Ninetales, but actually there have been transactions made. He has dropped his Ninetales, and we do need to fix this in the document actually. If I have a quick look, he dropped his Alolan Ninetales for Mimikyu, so actually his last slot is Mimikyu, and we have actually swapped our Umbreon for Alolan Ninetales. So yeah, our Umbreon tier 3, I believe. Yes, our tier 3 Umbreon is now an Alolan Ninetales. I just thought it would be a little bit more helpful for the team. I don't really haven't really brought Umbreon other than week 1, I think. It didn't really do much. I think I brought it week 1. I can't really remember. Maybe I haven't brought it yet, but Umbreon not really doing much. So I've brought the Alolan Ninetales instead. Maybe we can make some nice use of the Aurora Veil. But that is all for this week, guys. Thank you for watching. We now move up to 3 and 1 in the rankings. I'm not sure if there is a standings page here, but it is not filled in. So thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you next week when we take on JR of the Colorado Raikus. See you then.